everyone to the Master of Unlocking podcast this week. Uh, we let's just get into something hopefully is not controversial to start with, and let's talk about the McRib. The McRib. Is it
Like a
controversial?
McRib.
Do you like the McRib?
Yeah.
I like it
I mean,
too. It's
that's
fun.
because you're a red-blooded American.
That's right.
You're
I'm curious though. Did everybody go with the onions on it?
Yeah.
You do. You
Yeah.
go with the onions. Okay. I take my onions off. I'm just not an onion
Well,
guy.
I used to not be, but I've started to understand like cooked onion and raw onion, and I like both of those things on. I can only eat them with things. Like I
Oh
can't
yeah.
straight up, right? But the raw onion on a Whopper and the raw onion on the McRib, for whatever reason, I've always hated onions, and like in the past few years, like I see what you're doing here. You had some crunch, you had some savory, but I would never like eat
Eat it onion. Well, like
eat
with
it
A
apple.
alone
little
on its
sweeter,
own.
maybe. A little
Yeah,
sweeter than onion, but the crunch helps.
Yeah.
I
I'll eat
like
a
the way
cooked
it's
onion
on
on
meat.
things. A fajita onion? No, there you go.
It's
That
cooked
Yeah, it's
too,
cooked.
so
Yeah. I'm definitely not a raw onion guy. I remember we had some discussion about the onion on what burger was that? The garlic butter burger. I
that
think that
sounds
was
right.
causing some
Yes,
issues if I remember right.
yeah,
So,
because they weren't really cooked like they were supposed to be.
no. But McRib, yeah, solid. Glad it's around every year at some
I
point in
give it an
time.
8. I give it an 8.
I agree. I give it an 8 as well.
Yeah, I'll go 9. I
Good
like the
night. Oh
McRib.
wow, good, good.
It's
My
good.
my daughter tried it and immediately said, "I understand why Homer loves the rib witch now because there's the entire Simpsons episode of they call the rib witch." But yeah,
Oh man, that was Elsa. I assume
yeah,
Paige
oh
didn't
yeah, yeah. Elsa's all
didn't
about the pig. She wants to eat everything pig.
got it. Oh man, that's
So
Elsa's the best. That's so funny.
um, so yeah. Well, do we have a recommendation for next week?
Uh oh.
Sorry, I was gonna sneeze and I didn't want to. If I clicked the mute button, all the settings would pop up on the screen. Didn't want to do that.
There are two things that I've seen that are new,
Okay.
but we've actually gone to both of these places before. So
Yeah,
It's
well,
fine.
sometimes it happens.
there's the $1 loaded nacho taco at Taco Bell.
Nacho taco. I don't think I've seen that, and I've been watching a little
I
bit of
don't think
football
I
lately.
have
Oh,
either.
sorry. Nope. Sorry. That's out. It returns on December 24th. So that one's not going to work.
Yep, not
Man,
quite.
but they've
So
already started marketing it?
apparently.
Whoa.
Well then.
Okay.
The other one is the Sonic 99-cent Fritos chili cheese junior wrap. It looks like chili, cheese, and Fritos in a tortilla.
I mean,
Mm, I mm,
So those are your new options, unless you guys have a
I don't know if I have an
a
alternate,
staple
but
you
at the
wanna.
same time, I'm so soiled on my last Sonic trip.
I mean, this is 99 cents, so it's not that big of an investment.
Yeah. All right. Let me
unless
see.
somebody else brought something else, I don't have anything on the top of my head, especially nothing that I was excited about to go get a McRib this week.
I was
I
very
was
excited to
just
get a McRib.
jacked about that.
Oh, the other thing
Mhm.
I just thought of is I actually got one with McRib, but McDonald's has their holiday pie.
What's that?
To me it tastes like cake batter inside of like the apple pie crust.
Let me load up my McDonald's app.
Oh boy. I say we do that.
So there is
We're doing small menu items. I say we do that.
there might even be a day this week that it's free. They're doing a bunch of holiday deals this week. Get a free
Are they in
favorite.
the app?
It's like get a free favorite from each day. So as long as you make $1 minimum purchase, like the 14th is a double cheeseburger, 15th is a Big Mac, 16th
Wow.
is an Egg McMuffin, 17th is a McDouble, 18th is a medium fry, 19th is a 6-piece nugget, 20th is hotcakes, 21st is just cup coffee. 22nd looks like a McFlurry. 23rd is a blueberry muffin. 24th is cookies.
So no pie.
So no
But that's
pies.
I
okay.
love how they're doing what you just told me is they're doing the 12 days of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
aren't they?
They sure are.
That's
Is it under the
awesome.
McCafe Bakery? Is that what I would look under for this thing?
I don't
The
think so. I
holiday
think
pie.
it's
It literally is called holiday pie.
isn't it in like the desserts or whatever?
Oh. Oh, this. Ooh. What did you think this thing is? Cake batter, you said?
Yeah, like cake batter. Take like the apple pie crust that they have, and then
Mm-hmm.
put like uncooked cake batter in there with like sprinkles.
This looks like white cake to me, so I'm in.
Okay. Um,
I will save my thoughts on what I thought of it until you guys have had it.
all right. I'm nervous. I'm gonna put it that way. I'm nervous. Because this is right up
Okay.
your alley, Jason. This looks like
Um,
this is all you. You're
yep,
gonna love this thing, and this looks like it's
white
not
cake.
me because I'm all about the chocolate.
Yep, this
So,
looks
but
like
I will give it the old college try. I may
all
need
right.
it. All right. Okay. Where do you guys want to go first? You want to go Game Awards or you want to go Cyberpunk?
If we were gonna do, what do you guys what are you most excited to talk about? Because I
I'm
also
more.
have
I'm.
I have Astro as well.
Okay.
I'm more.
I can't believe I didn't play until last week, but I didn't play until last week.
Oh wow.
I am. I am more nervous to talk about Cyberpunk. So if we got that out of the way,
Okay. Let's talk about it.
because
Um,
I know I have personal feelings, and I hope that I'm not the odd man out here
okay.
on my personal
I
feelings.
think the
So
first thing we need to say is what we're all playing it on because I think the experience is very much dependent on what you're playing on. It's platform dependent. I am playing on an Xbox One X. Jason, what are you playing on?
I'm playing it on a Xbox Series X.
Okay. Caleb, what are you playing on?
a medium to high range PC.
What you're playing on a 3060, is that right?
3060.
A
It's a kind
3060.
of an older CPU, and actually the RAM I just upgraded, so it's maybe on the low of the high end PC.
A mid
So
to
you
high.
ordered a 3070, but it isn't in your machine yet.
No, it is
Oh, I thought you said 3060.
3070.
Oh, it is a
Sorry.
Sorry,
3070. So
30.
that's a pretty
It is a
solid
30.
graphics card.
Okay,
That's
3070.
sorry,
Okay,
I said
okay.
60. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. So I'm on the low end of the stick. Jason's on the medium end, according to because in all reality, the of a build wise, you're still playing on a previous gen build on the Jason side. Like
Yeah,
you,
except for the patch yesterday.
everybody got the hot patch yesterday.
Yeah, well, yes, but I do
Mm,
believe there are some differentiators
a
there between the
couple.
PlayStation 5 and the Series X versus
Yeah.
the previous generation. I believe is what I
Yeah, I
understand,
think
but
it's
I
a
haven't seen what you've seen.
minor, I think. So it's not a huge deal. I looked at some of those specs earlier today. Um, all right, I'm just at least going to say off of the beginning because I know you guys are worried about this. I do like the game. I like everything around it. I like the setting. I like what's going on in the game. I do not like that it doesn't work. I have had more crashes, more massive bugs, more just issues with just like, I can't pause here. Why can't I pause? Um, just issues around quality of life. Uh, just for example, I had a mission where I needed to go to what was it? The bar, one of the bars, the strip club, whatever it is. I forget what it's called. Um, I needed to be there between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. It was 2:30 in the afternoon. I drove there and said, "Oh yeah, I can't be here yet." So I did the whole thing where it was there's the option to skip ahead time. So I skipped ahead to 6:30. I go up to the door. It says talk to the bouncer. I can't talk to the bouncer. I walked around for a while, tried to talk to her again. It didn't work. Loaded up my previous save. Tried it again. Went to talk to her. Didn't work. Couldn't talk to her. So I had to go pull up there, leave it on. I did find out that 1 minute of real life time is 15 minutes of cyberpunk time, so that's the equivalent. If you do want to know that, waited around for all of that, and then it worked. I could then talk to her. So skipping time is a glitch. like, or at least to the next activity did not work.
I had a similar situation where there was a Ripper shop I was supposed to go into, and the door was just permanently closed. And no matter what time I went there, couldn't get in. But I reloaded a save, and it worked after that.
Mm.
So yeah,
I'm glad
there's a lot of stuff like
I'm
that.
glad there's a lot of I'm glad there's a lot of auto saves that are happening that you can. It
Mhm.
seems like you can go back and even pull like the last 10. It looks like. So that's good. Maybe that's a realization that they had that this game is game breakingly buggy. Um, but yeah, Jason, what kind of experience have you been having with it on the Series X?
Mine's obviously better than yours, but I too have had to reload
Hmm.
from an autosave. Not not like one time it just didn't load. It crashed.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh, mine crashes all the
then
time.
yeah, I haven't. That only happened to me once. I was talking to Caleb. There was a weird there in the mission I'm in now. There's a weird. There's an optional task,
Objective.
Yeah,
whatever the
each one has
objective. Thank
some.
you.
Yeah, the object. Yeah. Hmm.
So I'm looking at the thing I need and I can't pick it up. And it's like I have to pick it up to do the objective.
Hmm.
And so I'm not the only one that had this happen to them. So the internet says that I need to get out of combat and then I can pick up the thing. So that
Mm.
doesn't really count as a bug, but it is one of those things like
Like, why this should
here
work? Like, why
that's
doesn't
an
this
odd
work?
choice. Like
Hmm.
to it's
I
right here and but that's really the only thing that I've had. I did have more trouble before yesterday's patch for sure, and it
Hmm.
also didn't look very good. But I noticed a visual difference yesterday after the patch. I was surprised. I really was. I didn't anticipate, like I was looking at it the day before and I was like, yeah, this built for
Yeah.
previous gen systems. Then the patch hit and I was like,
Mm.
whoa,
I
whoa.
going back to bugs for a minute. I think for me the bugs have been mostly funny.
Mm.
But when it does affect the game, it is pretty frustrating, and it happens a lot more than it should.
Yeah, I would say
And
for.
that's even on a PC.
Yeah.
Let's get
Mhm.
that. Let's be clear about that. So that's the
The
it,
choice, the platform of choice. It seems like from what I understand, when reviewers got their copy, it was on PC only,
Yeah.
and there was a reason for that.
smart. I would have done that
But
if I
there's
was them.
still like you'll just see like NPCs in a T pose just skating down the street.
I haven't seen
So
that.
I mean,
I haven't
you
seen that yet though either.
all the time there's like random stuff like that happens.
Like
There will
it's.
be like
Why
a
haven't I seen
person.
that? I want to see that.
There will be a person walking like his torso will be stuck in the sidewalk,
Have
and
you
like
had?
That
Yeah. Have you had
just
the
when it.
naked people yet?
I haven't actually. I did have that glitch where I put on pants, but the
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 penis
junk
is just out.
did not. It rendered outside of the pants, so my character was still wearing pants except for the junk was hanging out.
Hmm. I've
Um,
seen that one
I
a
just had to
lot.
take off the pants and put them back on, and then it worked. But it was still pretty funny.
Yeah, I've had any time that I pull myself up in the mirror, I am naked for about a second and a half, and then I slowly start to get clothes on. Um, because of course, I played as a girl because that's what I do. Um, but that was not
that's a
intentional.
given.
It's a given. Um, but yeah, I've had a lot of people, and to say for me, that's always like whenever I look at myself in the mirror. But I've had plenty of other NPCs and stuff who are just they're either barely wearing clothes when I see them, or like everything is slowly popping in. Like I can't imagine playing this on like a base Xbox One or PS4 at this point. Like it
I
would have to
Yeah.
be just
I'm
And
ungodly.
morbidly
the
curious.
internet has already said that, like told us that.
Right,
I
yeah.
am too, Caleb. I really am because like we know just from reviews we knew, oh god, everybody's played this on PC and it's been an okay experience for the most part. And then the community came out and said like I can't play this thing on my base console, and it's just kind of like the gap here with this thing is fascinating to me. I'm trying to be sensitive to those gamers that are on those consoles still and have decided to burn $60 on this game. And I bet eventually it will be fine. I want to say that I bet it will be fine, but
Mm.
like you've got like the base Xbox One all the way up to, we'll call it a tie between the Series X and the PS5 for console, and
Mm.
then you've got high-end PC cards. So it's
Mm.
like
Yeah.
how many masters can you serve with one game? And then you start to realize like that's got to be how it happened. That has to be how this happened. You
Yeah.
know
I guess you look back on it though, what the release date was supposed to be.
what
It,
was that, by the way? Do you know that, Logan?
There's
well,
been like 6.
at this
So
point, well, yeah, it was supposed to be in March. So we're talking no next gen game. I mean, I would even say based on when it was announced, it probably should have been released in 2019.
That's
So,
really interesting to me because if you look at this game,
mhm,
and Caleb, I don't know how you feel off of Valhalla and Demon Souls, but it's like there's a dip between those visually and Cyberpunk. And I don't think CD Projekt wanted to be in that position because of who they are and the kind of games that they make. But it is what it is. Delays are what they are. They bit off a lot with this thing. And
mhm.
so I'm trying not to, like, I don't. It looked a lot better on my Series X yesterday, but when I launched it for the first time, I was like, whew, this this looks like a previous gen game. And
Like,
that's saying nothing about like the way it plays or the voice acting or any of the other
yeah,
stuff. It just
mhm.
looks like an older game at this point, which is probably not what they originally wanted.
But
I can't imagine.
if it looked like an older game and functioned, I could take that. That's the other problem. Like it's you walk into one of those nightclubs with all that neon and the lights going on and I'm my frame rates are not even in the single digits per second. I mean, it is,
Gosh, wow.
and that's on a Series X or not Series X, a 1X.
One
Like come
X.
on. Like it's and I don't know about you guys either, but like dialogue trees, like they're the gap in time from when I will finish up like a series, like it'll just be the person you're talking to just stands there like, okay, is it frozen, is it frozen, is it frozen, and then they'll start up again, and it's just like
that happens on PC as well. That's not a old console thing. That's
okay.
just
On
a
an
game thing.
SSD, right, Caleb? You're on
Yeah,
an SSD, right?
an
So.
M.2 even. So
Mm.
Oh, wow.
like
Okay.
there should be no that should not be the problem.
So I guess I look at this and I say, yeah, it was been delayed and delayed and delayed, but maybe it still should have been delayed. Like it because a bad game, like Nintendo's always said it. A bad game is always a bad game. A delayed game is at least comes out. Like it.
I believe Rockstar feels similarly about that for the record.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's really it's been interesting for me because I hold CD Project pretty high
Yeah, they're like
on that. They're like right
they're
there.
right there. Yeah.
And it's not like Rockstar hasn't done bad things, but in the past couple of generations they've been really precious about how they handle their stuff. And like
Hmm.
if you look at Red Dead 2 and Cyberpunk, like
We're not even close. Like there were some HDR washout issues in Red Dead when it launched, but they fixed it. And hey, guess what? There's a lot of HDR issues in CG in Cyberpunk.
Well, and also at that time, like how many people were actually playing on HDR? Like
Yeah,
not as widespread of an
yeah.
issue
Two, three
as
years ago, it wasn't as widely adopted. I mean, it was.
yeah.
That's for sure. I remember. I think my TV was probably a year or two old at that point. Because Jason, I don't think did you have an HDR
I
TV
had just so that actually at that time is when I
when you did it?
made the leap to
Hmm.
4K HDR and a 1X and a Pro. That was and I finished my basement. That was an expensive spring.
Yeah, it
Jeez,
was.
God. Um, that's why I had Logan pay my basement.
Yeah,
Um,
free labor. Oh
and I
my
had a
gosh.
broken hand too.
Oh yeah,
um,
that whole thing.
yeah. So I guess like I don't want to. I don't know. like I booted it up, put my eyes on it for the first time, and then I was a little bit frustrated because like I immediately thought of like another game, and I was just like, God, just focus on this game, Jason. Don't think of other. It's like comparison is the thief of joy. Like, just enjoy
Yeah.
this thing for what it is. Don't think about Red Dead or like
Well, and the other thing
your
too,
disappointment around this.
I wanted to play this on my new TV because that's going to be the best display for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I bought a long HDMI cable. It was an expensive cable.
If it
But
was,
yeah, too.
yeah, if it was at that standard,
yeah,
oh my God.
luckily I got a Black Friday deal on it, so it wasn't.
Couldn't you just
It
move
was
your PC in
tolerable.
there? Would that be easier?
What?
Would have moving your PC in there would be easier?
Yeah, but I want my
Okay.
PC in my office. Like I didn't want to do that. But it was like I think it was like $70 for this cable.
And now
So
you have one kidney.
right.
Congratulations. But you have
Yeah.
a really long HDMI cable.
Mm-hmm.
So I hook it up out there, and it took me probably an hour and a half to get it working the way I wanted to. It's like just
With the
between
HDR
like,
settings and
the
stuff.
the TV resolutions that it supports and the bandwidth
Oh.
limitations. Like I could not get 4K 60 to work, so I have to do
Oh.
1440 60.
40p. Yeah.
But then when I was doing that, then I was having screen tearing issues because it wasn't matching the frame rate properly. It was a mess. It took a long time just to get it working. And a lot of that was, well, some of it was you having a setting in the TV that I didn't know about. Some of it was Windows being Windows, and some of it was the game itself. So like I can't blame the game entirely for that, but
Yeah.
it's still just kind of like I just want to play this game, but I also want to play it like in the best way I can, you know?
Yeah. Jason, have you messed with your HDR settings at all? Because I've heard even the Series X has some HDR washout issues.
It
Yeah.
does. Yeah, it does. I've messed with it to a point to where I'm like, this has got to get fixed
I
because
found a good
it's
setting.
did
Now it
you
might be
good.
different on the Series X, so it could be a little bit different. But I just started Googling stuff and looking at different options and was messing with sliders, and then finally got to the point I was like, oh hey, neon actually looks like neon here instead of like a, I don't know, a really fuzzy version of it that is very like,
I think that was a part of the patch the other day for the step up consoles
that could
because
be.
it it looked different for sure. The
Hmm.
update took forever. It was kind of funny. I was going to text you guys yesterday. Oh yes, okay, son, go to sleep. All right, daughter with mom. Ah, update.
I
Yep.
did the same thing. I sat down yesterday about, God, what was it? It was probably 3:30 in the afternoon yesterday, and I was like, okay, I've got some time. I'm gonna sit down here and get going. Sure enough, 15.3 gig update, and I'm watching it go, and it was, I'm downloaded 160 megabytes per second. I'm like, that's pretty good. Like, I'm not, and yeah, but then it got down to the last gig, and it slowed down to 8 megs per second. I'm like, seriously, in the last gig, you're gonna do this to me?
But
Yeah,
I did notice a big difference visually HDR wise,
Mhm.
and it seemed like true 4K.
the
And I'm not sure
HDR
I was getting that beforehand. Go ahead, Caleb. Sorry.
the HDR on PC I think looks better better on than off. I think the game looks better with HDR on than it does off,
Okay,
but it definitely does not look like other HDR stuff that I've seen.
yeah.
Um,
Have you
so
turned film grain off?
I don't know. Maybe.
That helped a lot. Just in because I think the film grain really washed everything out, and you get more of the sharpness and detail that way. So that might be a setting worth looking
Okay.
at.
I'll have to look at that.
Um, so
But as far as like, so we've talked around the game so far.
yeah, well, it's more about, yeah, it's like everything around this thing, but it's like, oh yeah, what about the actual content, story, gameplay when it works?
I think all in all, it like looking back on it now, from I'm probably about I don't know, probably 15 hours in, something like that.
Oh geez.
And I think it's fine. I think it's okay. I I'm not ready yet to say that it's not a good game, and I'm not ready to
Oh,
say that it is a game of the year contender. I think it's right in the middle. um,
okay.
Everything in this, it seems like I guess maybe my expectations were a little too high for it because
Oh,
there's a couple of things that they were kind of disappointing coming off of The Witcher. Um, One is that the side content is not very good. There's If you go do a side quest, you're going to get like a line or two of dialogue that's going to be pretty generic. You go in, you kill a thing, or you collect a thing, and you come back and you're done. The Witcher really nailed that, and it's kind of disappointing that they couldn't replicate that with this game too. The other thing that I think The Witcher really nailed is the melee combat. It felt like very weighty, like you were like actually slicing through stuff. And Cyberpunk feels like you're you, it doesn't have that. It feels very floaty. It feels like maybe even if you're in melee combat, sometimes it's like, did I even connect with that? Oh, his health went down, so I must have. Or you can't really tell. Like somebody
mm.
throws out a boot at you, and you're like, I don't know if I just got hit by that kick or not. Like
Do you think that's
it's
a
just
first
not
versus third
very
person thing?
visceral that way. What?
Do you think that's a first versus third person thing though?
Maybe, but it just does not feel great. Like
First
it
person
doesn't.
melee combat never has felt good.
Yeah, yeah,
You're gonna say, what's that game? The Chronicles of Riddick, right? Yep. Yep.
yeah. And Rise felt pretty good.
Who?
Rise was third person.
Rise was third person.
Rise?
Rise, Son
I
of
thought the
Rome.
one that was first person.
No,
Third.
RYSE as
Yeah,
in launch title for the Xbox
yeah.
One
Am I getting them mixed? I'm getting
still
them.
looks better than Cyberpunk. No, I'm kidding. It looked pretty good.
I'm like thinking about it back on that. I'm like,
It looked really good. I mean, it still probably
no
looks pretty
neon
good.
lights, that's for sure. No, no,
No.
no lens flares. Um,
Condemned, I think, did an okay job at first person combat as well. There was
mm,
that I don't know how to. There was the God of War, like in God of War on PS2
I'm
did
trying to
like the
remember that.
stop, like it, like Condemned had like a collision, not technical collision detection, but like
Hmm.
a stop in the combat when you connect with a guy, you kind of feel like the weight of that is what Caleb was talking about.
Hmm.
I'm with him. Caleb, I couldn't have said it better myself. I feel the exact same way. I haven't seen as much of it as you have as far as the
How
side
many how many
content.
hours in are you, Jason? Or any idea?
Six,
Okay.
I think.
I'm
Good amount. I did decent
yeah.
amount. You. What about you?
I'm probably 3.5 to 4. But I mean,
So
at
I'm
the same time, I'm not
just a little
sure.
bit past you.
I would almost have to say probably lower end because I've spent so much of it fighting glitches and going back. So I might be closer to like 3. I've since you guys have played this, uh, I'm doing the mission with Evelyn to go take on the guy at Asakura or whatever. Um, yeah, so
Hmm.
I'm doing that stuff right now. So that's where I'm at. So it's still very early on.
Yeah, I'm probably 2 hours past
No,
you.
the one thing I will really praise about this game is the actual the main story quests are very good. I am invested in this story 100%. I really want to know what's going to happen.
So you're pat like
That
so
and that.
yeah.
Go ahead,
I was
Lou.
just gonna say, so there's how many acts are there? Because I know I'm in Act One. Um,
I believe there are 3 acts.
just three, just a 3 act. Sometimes they do 5. I didn't know. And
Yeah.
then where are you then?
I am a mission or two into Act 2. I'm not sure how long Act 2 is, but
Okay, but you've probably been doing a lot of side stuff, knowing you.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
At this point, I think I might just kind of mainline it, to
okay.
be honest, because the side stuff is not engaging. But then again, like I don't know if I'll be
Hmm.
able to. Like, will there be a skill check somewhere I can't do, or will I need a certain amount of money to progress or something like that? Maybe I
Oh,
will have to go do more
I
side
would
stuff.
hope
But
not. I mean, if they're saying right now that like it's a, what'd you say, a 20? I think originally they were saying like a 20-hour
yeah,
game.
I think
Like,
people People were saying that if you just did story missions, it'd be about 18 hours, but
Hmm.
I mean, most people are not going to play that game that way. So,
I might. Like, I might be that guy though. In these open world kind of games, I typically just mainline them.
yeah. I
So
don't know. I'm torn if I give these side missions more attention or if I just
I'm
plow
sure
through
there's
it.
probably a few gems in there, or one of the, or you've had a couple duds. One of the two. I'm not. I guess it's depending. We're not really sure yet, but
Yeah.
hmm.
And I think
Well,
the gun combat feels okay. I think it's better than the melee for sure. But I don't think it's the best gun combat I've ever played
I didn't
either.
care for
So
the tutorial gunplay. I haven't really had a lot of gunplay at this point. I've been mostly story stuff or knocking people out stealthy.
yeah, I think the stealth is pretty rough. Um, I've had, and again, it's buggy in weird ways too. Like I've snuck up behind people, crouched, going very slowly, and they still detect me, and they just turn around instantly. That's pretty lame.
I've had a hard time coming out of crouch. Is that weird?
Yeah, if somebody is talking and you're crouched and you're trying to come out of crouch, it won't let you.
Yep. Like I'm literally like looking up at people while I'm talking to them because
Yep.
I'm stuck in crouch. I'm like, this is really weird.
Yeah.
So,
Like I said, like I am enjoying it. But I just think that maybe my expectations might have been a little higher than this. I think, last week I was talking about how games, in my opinion, have like when you look at them before they come out, they have like a floor and ceiling. And
mhm,
obviously I think Cyberpunk has a very high floor, but also like an infinitely high ceiling, and unfortunately I think they just like barely cleared the floor.
mhm,
It's like, well, my expectations were that it could be anywhere in this range and it's actually probably down here. Even though this is better than a lot of games we get, it's still at the bottom of the expectations.
yeah.
I
I'm
wanted to say, Caleb,
mm,
the just quickly that I agree with pretty much everything you said. And before we got on here, especially all the things that bother me, and especially coming off of The Witcher in context of that trilogy. Um, I didn't play the first two, but I love the third one, obviously, and it's hard to feel like they've taken a step back in every other way besides storytelling. I feel like so far what I've seen out of the storytelling is really good. Anytime someone's
mhm,
talking, I'm like really engaged. But you're right. I think that this feels like a Bethesda game to me, and I didn't want that out of.
Yeah.
I didn't want that out of this. That's not what I came to this game for, and I feel like I'm playing Fallout.
Fallout.
that's a slap in the
and
face.
and that's just kind of what I feel. That's how I feel. Except I do feel like the storytelling is a plus.
Yeah.
That I do feel good about that, and I feel like Night City is awesome. Like I think I will immerse myself in this world, but I don't think I will enjoy playing it, the actual gameplay part of it, as much as I was hoping. And maybe
Hmm.
I'm wrong because I'm still just 5 to 6 hours in. So maybe I'm wrong about that, but it feels like Logan. Honestly, I made that joke earlier, but like this feels like a game that you don't like historically.
Mm,
So I'm like it's a Western RPG in like the truest sense, and even not developed here, right? But I mean like
mhm.
it's in that mold, you know. And when
Oh
was the
yeah,
last time
it's
you played one of those?
the Outer
Like
Worlds.
Oblivion, The Outer Worlds. I mean that's not really quite that's not this. I mean, that's not a Western RPG in the way this is.
No, yeah. I
So
mean, I'm not far enough into it to probably give it that much credit, but I mean, I if this was set in the Witcher world, I would probably stop playing now.
sure,
But
sure.
because it's of the cyberpunk nature of it, I will
I
keep
think
playing it.
that's where me and you are opposite, is like the setting to this is less interesting than it would be set
To
in the
each his
medieval
own.
setting. It's just
That's just,
so.
yeah. It's just never been my high fantasy has never been my thing, which is why I never got into Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings or anything else. But sci-fi superhero is more me.
You know
Everybody's
what?
different.
As I think about this, I was hoping this would be like more Mass Effect, less Fallout. I think is what I was hoping from this, and it's just more like a Bethesda game to me is what it feels like.
It
And
feels
I
like
was hoping like
a
more Mass Effect.
I was
mix
hoping for more.
between like Fallout and Deus Ex in a way. Like which are both very good games, but they're not the banger I think we were kind of hoping for here.
And I didn't want any like carbon copy. This feels like a Ghost of Tsushima situation or like a AC Valhalla situation where it is like this is all of these things come together in this one very good piece. And I wanted something new, something fresh out of this. And it seems like I'm just kind of getting
A mix.
Cyberpunk's level of storytelling with retread mechanics.
Yeah.
And
And
and that's not what I was because this thing has been hyped for like
right.
forever. So
And
that's just not what I was expecting.
there there are things that they can improve through patches. I mean, no
Yeah.
question about it. They can make it look better, they can make it run better, they can fix bugs. But I think there's also a lot of things that they're just not going to be able to fix through patches. Like the inventory system is not good.
No,
Um,
no, it's not good.
it's very clunky. Driving is bad and not fun. There's just like they're not going to be able to rewrite scripts for side missions. Like
They've said
there's
they're going
stuff
to
that they
add
can
side
fix
stuff.
and there's stuff that they can't. So
Hmm.
if you're holding out hope that like after a few patches maybe this will be the game, I still don't know if they can get there.
I feel like I should hold out hope for at least just so I'm not crashing as much, because the
Yeah.
more crashes I have, the less likely I am to play it. Um, I mean, I've had just this afternoon alone, I had 4 crashes, and that's just playing for about 2 hours. So
Yeah, it sounds like once you have your Series X, that'll get a little better
yeah, I
too.
know. I'll just keep looking for my shipping notification here,
Yeah.
and hopefully that gets better. I can
It
hold
will
off.
be.
Yeah, I haven't had
I
any
think it will be.
I
I
haven't had any crashes, and I'm able to with the settings that I've tweaked, I'm able to get a consistent 60 frames.
Oh, that's good.
But again, that's I mean, that's a lot of money in this machine to run that. So
Right, yeah, and as I say, you look at like, Joe Blow, who's got a PS4, base PS4. uh, I really question how they're running this thing. It probably looks like Grand Theft Auto 3 for them.
yeah,
So, yeah, I've got AC Valhalla coming on PS5, so maybe I'll play that for a little bit and wait until I get a Series X or
you
another
should probably
patch
check
comes
that
out.
out at least.
Yeah, I mean, I need to. So and it's GameFly, so I should probably just take care of that, get it, at least play enough to where I can speak to it, because obviously I'm not going to beat it. You guys probably aren't even going to beat it by the time
No,
Game of the Year rolls around. So,
not even gonna try.
so yeah, I'll play a few hours of that, make sure I have enough under my belt to speak to that. But that should be here. I think it shipped on like Thursday, so I'm hoping it comes early this week. But I won't have time to probably even play it until Wednesday based on my current work situation.
Yeah,
You'll know you're playing a next gen game at least.
That's
There,
true.
it'll look nice. That
yeah.
game looks good, man. Even
Good.
on not just the gap from PC to
Hmm.
PS5 Series X, it looks pretty good on a Series X. So I imagine it'll look great on a PS5 too.
Hmm. Kind of, so I guess out of Cyberpunk here, I did throw in Miles Morales. They threw in a new quality patch to where you can pretty much run that game at 4K 60 now.
Oh,
And
nice.
whoo, doggies, does that thing look nice?
Because you had to
That's
kind
good.
of pick before. Do
Yeah,
you
it
want
was like, do you
4K
want
or do
quality
you want
mode or do you want
60?
performance mode? And so I don't think it's quite 4K 60. I think it's a little bit less than 4K, but you do get the HDR and everything else at 60 frames per second. And wow, does that? It's like playing a completely different game. It
Yeah, I
just
honestly didn't notice a whole lot of difference in the quality between performance and quality modes. So I'm
mm,
curious now if maybe they spread that gap a little bit
yeah,
further.
it's a big gap. Like I went back and did the performance, like the 4K, and then switched over to the performance mode or quality to performance, and it is night and day difference now. That thing runs like butter, swinging around through stuff, just like it is. And just with the lighting and everything else, I was a little disappointed that I'm not playing it that way, that I didn't play it that way the first time. um, so for those of you getting a PS5 now and playing Miles Morales, good for you. I might, if I had some more time, I'd New Game Plus this here, and but
I mean,
mm,
New Game Plus is like 4 hours long, so
I know.
you probably have the time. But
No, I don't. That's the thing, is
oh yeah, okay.
I've literally had zero time, and probably won't due to work here for the next couple weeks. So, um, but boy, I had it a couple weeks ago, but not now.
Mm.
So, um, yeah. Jason, you've played an Astrobot. How's that going?
I finally cracked that this week. Um, I decided I'd play it with my 5-year-old daughter, and we both really like it.
That game's
Go
a
figure.
lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a good. The She has played one game from start to finish, and that's Donut County.
Mm,
So we trained her up on that a little
mm,
bit, and even at times, we had to share back and forth on that. She got frustrated with it at times,
mm,
and obviously Astros, in the higher levels that
Mm.
I have to do most of it, right? But
Here, do these speed
um,
runs.
yeah, just
yeah,
speed
yeah,
runs.
go, yeah, go ahead. What are you doing? God, what are you doing?
You have to double jump there.
But it's interesting to watch that controller tech like in a 5-year-old's hands that
Hmm.
has never really held nothing more than a one X controller and
Hmm.
then a PS5 controller, really, are the only
Right,
controllers
yeah.
there. And like the directions, like I don't have to help her. Like she zipped up that monkey suit. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? She climbed on the things with
Hmm.
with the monkey.
Yeah,
That's
there's
impressive.
the
Like,
You
nice
guys
little
did
thing in the
well.
top window that shows you what you're doing. It's yeah.
and like for her, like this seems so natural to her. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Where we've not had motion control really work this well ever.
Hmm.
And like I look over at her, I'm just like, you're doing it. Like you're doing it. Like it just was really interesting to see her take to that on her first try, no coaching, no nothing. Like you got it. So it was interesting to see that. That game's a lot of fun, and the best part of it for me is the you guys were talking about it, but the nostalgia is just so good. It's
Hmm.
so good. Like you unlock the artifacts, and it's like that's a PlayStation One, buddy. Like,
Hmm.
whoa, that's a PlayStation One peripheral that I've never heard of,
Hmm.
and it's fun. It's so fun, man. It's cool, and it's good too. Like, it's a
Hmm.
good
It's genuinely
like
good.
good
It's
collectathon platformer. It's good.
hmm it's yeah, that one. I am upset, I will say. I did went through and did all the speed runs myself, and my 9-year-old daughter beat one of my speed runs.
Eventually, torch
Eventually
has to
they
get
pass
passed,
you.
man.
I mean, it's just what happens. And she's gonna try to take my spot at the head of the table, and I'm gonna
She just
I'm gonna have
slaps
to
the pork chop off your plate.
I'm
Like,
gonna have to take her down a notch.
It's gonna be like that scene in Succession. She's gonna grab your chicken.
Hmm.
Thanks for the chicken, Logan.
And oddly enough, it's the same name. I mean, it's works. So,
Yeah. Yep.
oh
Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah.
ooh.
It's good. It's as
Mhm.
good as you guys said it would be. I'm surprised that game is like for a pack-in game on a console. It's like,
It
God, do I need to consider this for where's
it
this for
I would
us?
say
Where
it
is this
is
for me? Like,
for me. It's definitely
it's
top
good.
10. It's
It's a good game.
it's a definite top 10 contender, and
Yeah.
might even poke the top 5 if it gets to,
whoa.
yeah.
Whoa. That's this year especially. That's saying something.
Well,
I don't know.
something might have
There's
lost its place where it was reserved. So it had lost its reservation over the last few days. So
Yeah, I think you kind of mentioned it last week, Logan, but I think like the bottom of the top 10 list is there's a lot of candidates for a few spots,
hmm
and they're all real close. So any one of them could slot in there.
yep. hmm Some
I
of
have going into this, like we we were talking about how we're going to manage this week, and so we'll skip TV and we'll pretty much spend the rest of the time on the Game Awards, right?
yeah.
That's what we agreed on.
hmm
I have a question about number one, how we want to manage that, but also I'm thinking about this and I want to say this on the podcast. Like their five finalists besides Doom Eternal seemed a little weird to me, but
Very much so.
everything else is like, damn, like this year has sucked for many reasons. But man, those games
Video games
besides
were
Doom
good this
Eternal,
year. Yeah.
I'm like, you
We're
can't go wrong with any of those, really. Like I wouldn't have been mad at the result of that at all. And majority of those categories the other night, I was like, good for you, good on you. That
right.
makes sense to me
And none of the
because
three of us are
the
Animal
games are
Crossing
all
people.
so good up there.
Yeah.
Like, but even at that, like I
Right.
can respect it.
I
It
can
has its
respect it.
community,
Yes, I can. I 100% respect it. It's just not me.
right?
Uh,
And it seems like the quality up there at the top is just so wow. It's just been a really good year, a top heavy year. And
mhm.
then, like you said, Caleb, the rest of it is like, sure, we'll see what happens. I mean, this is
Yeah.
good. This is good. It's not bad. Well, sure.
hmm
It's
I
Doom
don't
Eternal,
care.
you know.
Yeah, I was Doom Eternal. I think might have been like, well, this was it's a big game. It should be at the top of the list, right?
A lot of people really, really like Doom Eternal.
Really,
Yeah,
are we just the
I
only people who were kind of sullied by it?
I
I
like that
like that
game.
game
Yeah.
more than you guys do for sure. But I think that it's a game that is for. We talked about this at the time, and I still feel like it's a game for people that just play that game. You know what I
hmm
mean? Like that are speed running that game, that are just min maxing that game, that are just trying to make the most of that experience. And they went after that audience. Like they served that audience with this game
hmm
more than just general gamer person. And so that's why just person that dabbles and everything thinks it's just okay. But like the community around that game loves it. Similar in the way that the Animal Crossing community loves Animal Crossing. Same as Hades. Like these are really, really like bullish communities behind their one game, and that passion I think has leaked through to all of these critics kind of making their lists at the end of the year. So Fortnite wins is what I'm saying every time.
Actually, it didn't win. It did. It best ongoing game went to No Man's Sky. Um,
Yeah, I
so
did
I
see
would
that. So
say, I if we're looking at Game Awards stuff, here's my thought because I'm wondering where you're going with this either too. But I don't want to have too much of a discussion on why something won because or not because I think that's for us to talk about at our game of the year.
Mm, yeah.
So if we start to have that discussion now, then it's kind of like we're showing our cards.
I didn't even pull up the list of winners or anything. All I pulled up was the announcements.
Yeah, I think we should just review announcements and just kind of hey, Eddie Vedder was there. That was cool. But then he started talking afterwards, and it was really weird.
Yeah, the one overall thing was that since it wasn't on stage and it
hmm
was all via Zoom, they didn't have a way of like playing the music to tell people they need to leave the stage.
Yeah,
So a lot of those acceptance speeches went on way longer than they should have.
I didn't mind any acceptance speeches. The only I've more found Eddie Vedder's
Yeah,
talking
I'm
after
lumping him
his
in with that. Even though it wasn't an acceptance speech, I think maybe he went a little too long.
right. Like you had your song you were supposed to play. At no point in any time in any award show who someone has played a song did they stop afterwards and start like I don't know, just going on to some little like soliloquy about nothing. Like I just thought it was a little odd, but Eddie
Yeah.
Vedder's a little odd. So other than that, I think the
did
show ran fine.
did you guys see Eddie Vedder glance at his sheet quickly to remember what the event's name was? It was really funny. He's like, "It's just an honor to be here at this here Game Awards. He's just like he goes this year,
What am I here
Game Awards.
for?
Yeah, and like he knew where he was. He just wanted to make sure he got it right. You know what I mean? Like, what is this thing specifically called? He knew it was about video games, but
Like
he's
he
just like,
was. He
this
probably was
year,
like, oh, the
Game
Video Game Awards,
Awards.
or what was this? The VGAs? Like it was,
Yeah. I think he definitely cared more than Charlize Theron did at the Spike TV Video Game Awards a decade ago. I think
that's
he
for
cared
sure.
more. Yeah, he
Yeah, I
did.
think the celebrities that were there did care that they were there. Um, Maybe not Gal Gadot; she was just kind of did her thing, but she's got a movie to promote, so that's probably the only reason why she was there. Um, but I think the
So I'm
rest,
good with announcements. You guys good with
yeah, I think we just
announcements?
review announcements. I think, or any, yeah, yeah, I think that works.
Okay.
So,
The
Caleb, you've got the list, so I'll let you go
yeah,
first.
yeah. I'll start at the beginning.
Hmm.
First thing that they announced was that Sephiroth is the newest Smash Brothers fighter,
Hmm.
which took me exactly 2 notes of the song to
Yep, me
identify. I
too.
just want to throw that
I
out
was like,
there.
oh, Sephiroth, cool. Like that
Yeah.
makes
Say
sense.
Pharaoh.
My biggest takeaway from that is that will probably be the second amiibo that I buy. Him and Cloud can sit together.
Oh yeah, if they make an amiibo, because are they make amiibos of everyone?
I think they do.
I feel like
I'm not
amiibos have
sure.
kind of died off.
Maybe they have.
Hmm.
But if they make one, I'll buy that.
As usual, the Kingdom Hearts crowd still disappointed.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody's waiting on Sora to be put in there,
Well,
and
the Kingdom Hearts crowd will be disappointed in perpetuity for
we're
other reasons.
we're always disappointed. It's okay. We get really happy and then we get disappointed. It's fine.
Second thing, the Left 4 Dead, the former Left 4 Dead team is making a game called Back 4 Blood, which looks a lot like Left 4 Dead.
I mean, it's literally has a 4 in its name. Uh, I think that game looks really cool.
Yeah,
I'm in.
and it's the original team, so like,
Right.
who knows? Maybe they have something that they always wanted to do that they couldn't for whatever reason. Maybe they're throwing it out for this.
And they actually had gameplay of it, which is more than what anyone else showed for later on announcements. So maybe that game is actually coming a little sooner than we thought.
Yeah.
I think the mini bosses look interesting in that game for sure.
Yeah.
Looks way more intense than
Then Left 4
um,
Dead.
4D 1 and 2.
Hmm.
Like those
There's a
like
couple mini
those were
bosses in two.
difficult mini bosses, but like for the most part, those things looked like, oh, that looks like a problem. That looks
Hmm.
like it could kill all of us. You know what I mean? I remember, I think fondly of the first two games. Logan and I, way before either of us had kids, like we played that with like we had a little community of gamers back then that we played
Hmm.
games with, and um, that game was special. Like it just was different, you know, like
Yeah.
the communication that happened, sticking together, getting
Hmm.
through a situation together, and when somebody went down, like the panic that ensued with the whole team to save
Hmm.
that person,
Yeah.
and it was either going to go well or this is where it starts going horribly wrong. Either
Hmm.
way, it's entertaining. Like you're not even really mad. You're like, run's over, but that still was
Because the
it was
runs were like
funny.
15 minutes. Like it wasn't like, oh, we're on like an hour long run here. It was like, okay, well, 15 minutes and we're done. So,
And we're back in,
and
yeah.
that was
So
really one of the first like co-op kind of online competitive, not really competitive things, but like a co-op thing that you could do online. I'm trying to think of anything else before that, and there really wasn't.
I'm excited for that. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
Yep.
Hmm.
The PC closed beta of the game Scavengers starts now. I don't think anybody cares about that.
Yeah, I ignored some of those. I think you missed one.
Maybe this list might not be complete.
Okay, I'll because it was an early one. That's why I'm surprised.
Yeah, double check me because this is not my list. This is I pulled up somebody else's list.
Okay,
So
I'll keep my list here. Go ahead.
The a trailer was shown for Perfect Dark.
Yeah, okay,
Mhm.
that's where I was. Yeah, I had Perfect Dark higher up because I think it like started the show. But
Perfect Dark came before. Perfect Dark was announced before Back for Blood,
Oh,
but
okay.
that's whatever. Yeah.
doesn't matter. Yeah. I think that looks all right. It looks like they're taking a little more grittier take on it, and which I'm surprised that Rare would do that. considering where they're kind of at lately. But
The last Perfect Dark was an Xbox 360 launch game. Is that
yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yes.
Is that
So it's
Perfect
been a
Dark
long
Zero?
time. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
So
so.
this is it's essentially a reboot, right? So the last Perfect Dark game, like before that, was N64.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think. Maybe it's
So
just the two, right?
I think so, right? Yeah, just
I think
Perfect Dark
so.
and Perfect Dark Zero. I don't think they ever did a sequel or anything else. I mean,
Yeah.
they could make this look pretty cool. I think it's a,
Yeah, I
but
think
that could
this
also
might
be a
be one
dud.
of the first round of the Microsoft trying the single player exclusives. I think this might be like one of the first that we're going to see in a long line of
Hmm.
let's do a single player focused big AAA title that's exclusive because we got panned for that so many times.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
Rightfully so. They've been getting
yeah,
killed this past generation on
right.
that front.
Well,
Absolutely
because
freaking
everybody kept saying
destroyed.
single player narratives are dead. Single player narratives are dead. They're not. They never were. Whoever said that in a board meeting doesn't know what they're doing.
mm,
Sony Computer Entertainment of America
Did
says differently.
Yeah, it says we doubled your console sales.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, a new Hood Outlaws and Legends trailer debuted. I don't even remember this to be honest.
I wrote it
I
down,
don't
but I
either.
don't know what it is. I
Okay.
had zero notes next to it.
This list says if you're a fan of Dead Space, check out the developer's trailer for the similar sci-fi uh, survival horror game, The Callisto Protocol, coming.
I
I didn't see Dead Space in that. Did you
uh
guys?
Yes, I
Really?
literally when it came through the Callisto Protocol, I just have written down in my notes, "Dead Space motherfuckers" when and multiple exclamation points beside it. The developer is the lead developer from Dead Space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the gentleman they interviewed, Glenn Schofield, I think is
Yeah.
his name.
Hmm.
Um, he's the guy.
He was
He's
the
the
head of
guy.
Visceral. Hmm.
Yeah, so I with you, Logan. Like I was just like, oh, finally,
Hmm.
finally, where have you been, Glenn?
Hmm.
What have you been doing?
And this
We
is what
need
he's been doing.
you.
Like
Yeah,
I need my
I'm
outer
excited.
space survival horror. Like, and that's exactly what he said. He's like, yeah, we're bringing back survival horror. I'm like, oh, thank God.
He
Like,
basically said like we're making Dead Space 4. It's just not called Dead Space, or it may not have Isaac in it, but like
it's Dead
here
Space.
we go. And it's
Hmm.
been long
Okay.
enough. I adore Dead Space 2 and 1, so
Hmm.
I'm excited.
I
So
even like
excited.
3. I know I'm in the minority on that, but I like 3.
Three wasn't. It just wasn't as good as 1 and 2. I think that's my thought, I guess. And it
Well,
just
and it gets the co-op bump too. Like if you play a game
Yeah,
in
sure.
co-op, it's automatically gonna be fun.
well,
Right.
Jason, you and I played that literally side by side with two TVs,
Yep. Yep.
and
And it was fine.
yeah,
It
it
was
was
fine.
fine. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was fine. I think there was just some corniness in there that we were kind of like, eh. But continue.
The Warhammer 40K Dark Tide trailer was next on this list.
Can somebody help me out? Is that DLC? What
No.
is that, Caleb? Is it its
Okay.
own thing? Help me.
So you've got Warhammer and you've got Warhammer 40K.
Mm-hmm.
Warhammer is the um medieval high fantasy type stuff, and 40K is the sci-fi stuff.
Hmm.
Yes. Okay.
So last in the last few years, they've done Warhammer Vermintide, which is the the high fantasy stuff, and it's like Left 4 Dead basically. It's 4 players. You go through levels. Um, Essentially a clone of that.
Okay.
This is Warhammer 40K Dark Tide, which is the 40K version of that. So the sci-fi-ish guns and stuff version of the Left 4 Dead clone.
That game looks good.
Yeah,
It
it
looks
looks
nice.
good.
It looks real nice. I saw that it's um on the title card it said Xbox Series S and X and Steam, but I didn't see PS5 on there, so I'd be shocked if it wasn't available on PS5. Like shocked, but we'll
I
see.
think that is a Xbox exclusive thing that they've done. I think,
Is that a console PC thing?
yeah, I don't know if it's a Game Pass thing, but I do think there is something that they've done with that. Um, I mean, you look around. I mean, Persona is the same way. I mean, Persona's on PC and PS4 or PlayStation stuff. So there's precedent for it to be on PC and one console. So,
I think that was, and maybe you guys have something else in your head, but as far as gameplay wise, I think that was the best looking game I think of the show for me. And maybe I'm forgetting something, but it visually was striking
was there
for sure.
gameplay stuff in there? Or was that just a trailer? I'm trying to
Oh, it
remember
was
now.
all gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all gameplay.
I might
It
have
looks
saw.
really nice.
I remember seeing something. Was it? There was something that we saw earlier this year.
We'll
I think
get
was full
there. I
with.
bet your memory will jog as we
No,
talk.
I think there was a previous Warhammer 40K trailer this year, like in another event.
Oh, probably.
Like I think it was like the Microsoft event, like third party event earlier this year. It was like, oh, what is this? Like this looks good. And I think we've had the same discussion because I was like, what the hell is Warhammer? Because I thought it was like a turn based strategy game that was like based on like Dungeons and Dragons. That was my whatever was in my head of what Warhammer was.
Yeah, there's a lot of versions of Warhammer, and they're super loose with the license.
Hmm.
So anybody that wants to make a Warhammer game, they just buy the license and make their Warhammer game. Like there are a ton of them, and they're all different genres.
Hmm.
But it's all. But you're kind of right. It is all based originally on the Warhammer board games. So
Okay.
uh, Dragon Age 4 has a name now, but then like they didn't really show anything of it. Did you
That's,
guys play? I don't remember. You're probably not Dragon Age fans here.
no. This
Yeah,
is
I am, but
this is the same BioWare team that just doesn't know what the hell they want to do, right?
yeah, that's the other thing too. Is like BioWare at this point is like a shell of what it was before.
Hmm.
So who knows what we're gonna get out of this? You know, their last game was their last game Mass Effect Andromeda? Have they had something since then?
I'm
Anthem.
pretty sure
Oh,
it
Anthem.
was.
Anthem was
Yeah.
BioWare.
So we got two swings and misses there. So we'll see. Disco Elysium, the final cut, coming to PS5, Switch, and Xbox. You guys should play this.
Okay.
That is my opinion.
How long is that game? It's long, right?
I don't remember. I want to say it's like 20, 25 hours, something like that.
Is there a physical edition of this, or is it just
Yeah.
digital and the collectors?
Yeah, so they
Like-
they announced the collector's edition here, but I looked it up immediately and it's $250.
Neat.
I will not be buying that because that is way too much money to spend on a collector's edition of that
A game
game.
you've already played.
Yeah. But I looked on Twitter and there were a lot of people with the same opinion as me.
So maybe they'll.
And they responded to a lot of them saying, hey, there'll be a regular physical edition later in 2021.
So you can have a physical collectible copy if
Yeah.
if that's really what you're after.
Yeah.
I still that game's on the list, I guess, for me. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Caleb, on your list, just because I'm kind of trying to help cross check,
Mhm.
is Open Roads on your list?
I think so.
Okay.
I think I saw
Okay.
that.
Yeah. I think we'll just.
That was
Yeah. We've each got a list.
These might not just not be in
Mhm.
order.
okay. That's fine. Go on. Carry on.
Okay. A new roguelite tactical game, Endless Dungeon, is coming to consoles and PCs. I don't even remember this either. So,
Some of them I couldn't
looked
tell if they
o-
were announcements or commercials.
It looked good. Endless Dungeon looked cool. It was it's a sci-fi thing, right?
I don't remember.
It's kind of like I think it looks like a roguelike, like an isometric roguelike is what it looks like to me. Cell shaded stylistically. It looked cool. It's interesting to see the word dungeon for a sci-fi spaceship game, more or less, as you go from area to area. But I thought the animation in that trailer looked really good. I liked the aesthetic of it a lot. So we'll see. But I thought Endless Dungeon looked kind of cool. But it's also looks like an early trailer, so who knows where where we'll wind up on that. And it's a Sega game. Sega out here trying.
Sega.
Crimson Desert. Was this the one that was like 15 minutes long?
Yes. I that game, it started off looking amazing. Like the visuals were like top notch, and then it was just like as time went on and I kind of just quit watching, the visuals went from here down to I mean here's the floor, but like they were like here by the time it was over with. Um still don't even know what that game is. Is that like Assassin's Creed at this point? Like,
It's an open world action adventure game.
but
According to
like
this.
it's set in more of like a, when I say Assassin's Creed, I'm going to say like Assassin's Creed 1, but with modern Assassin's Creed combat.
Yeah. Um,
I thought the combat looked, but beyond like AC, I think there's some combat things in there that I thought looked really interesting. That trailer is heavy on the combat stuff,
yeah.
like several different melee finishes and parries, and
There was some
I
magic in there
thought the
too, right?
combat looked, yeah, it seemed pretty. God, I don't know what to make of this thing. This is the one for me in that entire show. We were texting a little bit when I
Hmm.
was watching it, and I don't know what to make of this thing. Like it looks super polished, but like the frame rate stuff that they showed was
It's a
real rough at
stream.
times.
It's a stream. I would.
No,
But
no, no,
that
no,
was
no.
gameplay. That was
Yeah, because
gameplay.
we like I when I was watching with another person
Mhm.
and he was like, yeah, this game looks awful. Like it's so framey, and I'm like, that's got to just be the stream. Let's watch the trailer again after the awards. We watched again afterwards, and it was just as
Framey.
bad.
Okay,
It's a
all right.
weird choice. It's a weird choice to to show your game chug in that
Yeah.
manner.
hmm
Um,
There was also a
but
lot of like the
some of the blood
animations.
spatter stuff looks really good. Some of it looked
Some
great.
of
It just
it,
like was hitching, and
but
then some of it looked
yeah,
bad. Like it's so crazy
It
to
was set
me.
in quality mode, not performance mode. That's for sure.
but it was
Ah,
also like
yes,
some of the
okay.
animations seemed like they were like snapping together and didn't have like a transition in between them. So
You
like
could be right.
the transition of like him tackling the guy was cool, but then there was no transition to him stabbing the guy. So it was just like a very rough, like you're doing one thing and then immediately you snapped into another.
Hmm.
Stuff like
There
that.
is there is a, and maybe I can send you guys like a timestamp, but there is like he's doing like the diamond cutter to some enemies.
Yeah.
it's really
Now you're
it's
talking.
really wacky. It really, yeah, Logan, I'll see if I can find it. But like he's literally like stabbing the guy and then he's like doing the diamond cutter to them. And it's just super, I don't know. This could be really good. It could be really bad. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, do you guys know what it is? This is the curiosity game for me. I just
I'm sure there'll be
I don't
more to
know.
come. It's not like it's going to be out next week and we're just going to have to figure it out. I, I don't know. You wonder when a game like that. I mean, it doesn't. We really didn't get any sort of things that were like coming this day, like nothing with a date on it at all. I think there was one game I saw that said
There-
2022.
There's a couple on here that have dates, but yeah, for the most part, it
Okay,
was
maybe
just
they were afterwards or something, but I felt like there was not a lot with any real time frame at all.
um, the Swedish Chef will be coming to Overcooked All You Can Eat as a downloadable character.
Already downloaded them.
Oh, there you go.
Played it last
Logan's
night.
on it.
Yep, we took care of it.
Nice. Is this what you're talking about, Jason? Scavenger Studios is bringing third-person atmospheric adventure bicycle road trip game. Is that
Scavenger
That's
Studios? Is that Open Roads? Is that the name of the game was called Open Roads, and I don't.
yeah. That's what I was curious
Oh,
about.
never
It's
mind. This one
starring
is called
Carrie
Season.
Russell is.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, not that.
Okay.
The game I'm talking about stars Carrie Russell,
yeah, that's what I.
which was what
That's what
caught
I have.
my eye.
But it also doesn't star Carrie Russell like as a character model, I would say, because I don't
Oh,
think
right.
the art design is definitely not Carrie Russell
No,
voice
she's
acting,
the
sure,
voice. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
but yeah, not a character model.
It was like Carrie Russell and then another like well-known
Was it? I just saw a starring Carrie Russell.
Caitlin Dever. I don't
I've
know.
heard the name, yeah.
She was in what was she in?
I don't know. She's
See
on an
what
all new
IMDb
Nurses
is.
tomorrow night on NBC.
She was in Booksmart.
I don't know what that is.
I've heard of
Sorry.
the movie, but I couldn't picture who she is. I mean,
Okay.
if you put a picture of 5 people in front of me and said pick one as Caitlin Dever, I probably don't think I could do it.
She was also in the Tim Allen comedy Last Man Standing.
Yep, didn't watch that
Never
either.
watched it. Sorry.
Apparently, she was in Justified.
Okay, now you're
Oh,
talking. I may
okay.
have seen her in
All
there.
right.
Loretta. I
Oh,
don't
yep.
know.
I know who she is.
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
She was
yep. She was younger then,
young,
for
yeah,
sure.
very young, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
But
like
anyway,
10 years
yeah,
old at the
another
time.
relatively big, two pretty big names for that game.
Okay.
But
That
I don't
struck me.
remember the
Who's the
bicycle road
publisher
trip game.
there? Do we know who the publisher is
On
on
Open
Open Road?
Roads?
Sorry. Yeah, it looked like a donut game to me. So I was just curious.
Oh, it was I just had it up. It was Fulbright, Gone Home.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
Also that
sure.
style, for sure.
Sure. Okay, cool. All right. Sorry, carry on.
I don't remember this bicycle game.
I don't either.
I don't.
Okay,
Yeah.
move on. Vin Diesel came out in a game, and I was excited for a little while until I found out it was Arc 2.
I thought it was going to be Vin Diesel starring in Turok. Like, I really thought it was going to be a new
Yeah.
Turok game.
Oh, now you're talking. Man.
Well, somebody said maybe another Riddick, and I was like, I don't know if there were dinosaurs in Riddick. But
No.
No.
I'm going to really take that's. If they said it was Riddick and there were dinosaurs, I would probably be in at that point. Like, that would
Yeah,
be
'cause you're
complete
like, why?
nonsense.
What?
Like, that would just. But that, yeah, the more that went on, the more terrible that looked.
Yeah.
I know
Arc is not a
there's a
game
lot of
I'm
Ark
looking
fans
into.
out there,
Yeah.
but if Ark was more like the TV show Dino Riders, I'd be more in on that.
Not Dinobots.
Careful.
Dino Riders.
Careful.
Not.
Dino Riders is S tier, Logan.
I know
Careful.
it is. That's what I said. If it was like a Dino Riders, I'd be in. But
Man, gosh. You
instead,
got a
it's more like
T-Rex and he's got 2 turrets on the side of his big harness.
the
You got a
Stegosaurus.
Triceratops.
Yeah, that Stegosaurus turns around, and all of a sudden, there's like armor plating on the side. And there's dudes and turrets. That
Lasers flying everywhere.
God,
So
that
good.
game was, or that show was so good, and all the toys, they all walked and everything. Oh,
I still got them. Still got them.
you still have some that work? Oh man,
No, I have all 3, the big ones. Yep.
I've never been more jealous, man. Are they all? They're all at your parents' house?
Yep.
I'm gonna have to
Yep.
make a
They're next
trip
to
soon.
my. They're next to my giant 3-foot Ninja Turtle cartoon Ninja Turtles. Do you remember those? The big ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All 4 turtles, then Rocksteady and Bebop.
Nice.
Yep. That's pretty much it. But they're all there. Yeah.
Yeah, hey, as long as you got them.
Carry on, Caleb.
Carry
What's
on.
next?
Sorry.
Super Meat Boy Forever will be coming out on December 23rd. I know you guys aren't into that. I don't even think
Has
I'm
that
into
been
this.
in early access for a long time?
It's
Forever?
been in early access for like 7 or 8 years. Like, it's
Right.
a long time.
Okay. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
weird that it's finally going 1.0. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like, I like Super Meat Boy a lot, but I don't need a game that's gonna like this game. I just looked it up. It has 7,200 levels. Like, I don't want 7,200 levels of Super Meat Boy. Are you kidding me?
That's too much.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. That's yeah.
Outriders is coming February 2nd, 2021. Outriders. Which one was this?
Outrider. Was that the game that the more you die or the more you kill, the better? Yeah, that was it. It was the
Square Enix.
like I can't remember. It's basically like a team deathmatch game that it's like encourages you to get out and fight because like the more you kill, the more your life goes back up.
Oh, right.
But it was a
Okay.
little more. But it was very like future punk, and I wouldn't say cyberpunk. I would say future punk because there's a difference.
1 to 3 player drop in, drop out co-op shooter.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay.
Did it have actual gameplay, or was
No,
it just
it
a
was-
cinematic?
It was a
right?
cinematic that was very cartoony.
Sure.
I was trying to look
Okay.
too. They announced a bunch of stuff for that Arc animated series. The
That was
names,
immediately after. Yeah.
like the names that they had for that thing,
Yeah.
out of control. Like Vin Diesel, Russell Crowe, Gerard Butler, Elliot Page, Michelle Yeoh, David Tennant, Malcolm McDowell, Jeffrey Wright, and Carl Urban. That's a lot of names for a animated TV show about a video game.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah. Now, if they made a Dino Riders movie with all of those people in it, I
What
think
if
they
they
would.
just remade the TV show Dinosaurs? Yeah. Yeah.
I'd watch it. Not to Mama, of course.
Yeah,
Evil Dead the game has been announced.
that basically is kind of like Friday the 13th, the game. That's what it looks like to me. Although I would that it's the best looking Evil Dead type game that they've ever put together before. And I mean, who doesn't want to run around with this with a shotgun in one hand and a chainsaw in the as your other hand? Like that's I would give that a shot as long as it like had moderate reviews.
There's a new anime coming next year called Chainsaw Man. You should probably check that out.
Okay.
um, Master Chief is in Fortnite.
Yeah.
Well, the only interesting thing to me about that is now you have Master Chief versus Kratos in one
Yeah.
game.
What is Fortnite becoming?
I don't
Um,
know.
I
Somebody said there's fishing in it now. I'm like, what? Why? How is there fishing in Fortnite? I don't even understand what that game is anymore.
I don't think anyone understands what that game is anymore. I'm not really sure either. It was like Galactus invaded it, and like it's all been Marvel based for like the last 6 months.
Okay.
I mean, there was a Travis Scott concert inside of Fortnite one time.
Was he eating a quarter pounder?
No, I don't think so. This was pre that.
Hmm.
But like I don't get what Fortnite is at this point.
We will never know. We're too old. We
We
can't
are we are
possibly
too
know
old.
what
And
it
if we tried to get into it, then we'd be probably like then that's when it wouldn't be cool
our
anymore.
our only hope to ever know what Fortnite is for your kids to get old enough to start playing it.
They're super into Roblox right now. So that's where my kids are is Roblox. And I'm trying to understand what Roblox is. And it's kind of like Fortnite where basically all these brands are like intertwined in there and none of it makes any sense and I'm trying to be like how did they get the licensing rights for any of this and it sounds like they didn't.
Right. Yeah. It to me, Roblox just seems like here's this like set of tools you can use to make whatever the hell you want,
Mhm.
and it's the Wild West out there, and it's all going to be janky, and none of it's going to work, but kids are going to love it.
That's exactly what it is. And then they get mad when they can't finish levels and then I try to do it and I can't do it cuz it's like they're doing all touchscreen stuff and I just like I need a controller. I don't know how you do this without it.
Yeah. And the last thing on this list, new Mass Effect game coming. Womp womp.
I can't believe that's what they ended the show with. I guess I was hopeful that we would see something about the new Resident Evil game that with a date, like a very soon date as well.
Yeah.
Because now I was really hoping for that would have been like a January game or February, like it has been in the past. But as of right now, there's nothing in January or February, is there?
That's not true.
What do we got?
January is Hitman,
Oh yeah, I forgot about Hitman.
and then February is Persona Strikers.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and remind myself what Persona Strikers is.
It's the Dynasty Warriors Persona game. No,
I'm not sure.
nothing.
I'm not sure if I want that.
Okay.
It is
I'm
Persona 5 characters, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's only on Switch too, isn't it?
No, it's everything.
Okay, it is. I thought it was like a goofy thing that
Well, I
was
think it's everything except for Xbox. Actually, I
right
think it's
because
Switch, PlayStation, and
for
PC.
whatever reason Atlas hates Microsoft. I'm not sure
Yeah,
why, but they just do.
they had a bad experience with Catherine, apparently.
Did they?
Kind of weird, yeah. Because
Oh,
like, no, I
I
mean he's just being stupid, but yeah.
Well, Catherine, from my understanding, Catherine was supposed to be like the tech demo for the next Persona game.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Four or
But then it
five. Yeah.
never came out on Xbox. So
Because wasn't Catherine an Xbox exclusive for a while?
I think it was. I could be wrong on that. I think
God,
it
was
was.
it really? Wow.
I
I
think
think
there's
it
a
might have
PS4
been.
version now, or
There is
PlayStation
now,
3
yeah.
version
But
now.
Catherine was
But
on 360.
yeah. But anyway,
Wow. Wow. Okay.
yeah, I was hoping they'd ended on something stronger. I was hoping to see like God of War or Elden Ring
Yeah.
or even
Yeah.
Horizon would have been great. But
Well, I think we were even thinking Starfield
yeah,
would have been there with all the space stuff they were showing. It was like, oh, hey, that's been in the works for a while, but boy, there just doesn't really seem like there's a lot of heavy hitters coming early next year. Which I mean, if you
it's
look
like I
back at,
just looked at it and it's like it's literally like one thing a month for for a while there. So, but I'm
yeah,
sure there'll be other stuff coming out. But
and they
I'm
don't,
gonna I'm gonna talk to you guys about how to early on in the year how to prioritize what I'm gonna play. I was thinking about this. What are we gonna talk about? We always have plenty to talk about.
hmm
So I'm not worried about how we will fill our
oh,
time here. Like I might have you guys help me work through like ah isn't it nice? It's the beginning of the year, guys. What should I do with these?
what should I
Like
play
this is
for
where I want
fun?
to be. Yeah, no, right. Like
I'm done with
where
homework.
should I what should I play? You know, like I kind of look forward to those
Yeah,
conversations a
hmm
little bit, to be honest.
What's
yeah.
that like
So
new Game Pass game that's going to show up out of nowhere? Is usually something.
the other thing I just realized was not on this list at all was It Takes Two, which is
Oh
the
yeah,
new Joseph Ferris game.
Hmm.
I think that game looks great.
Yeah, me too.
Super
I will
weird,
definitely be playing that.
and I will be all over that game. That game looks like a lot of fun.
The
Yeah.
Sure.
other thing that I want to mention to Caleb is Road 96. Did we talk about that?
No.
No.
That's from the Valiant Hearts
Mm.
creators.
Oh yeah.
Um,
hmm
it's looks like it's hard to tell. It's like a stylistic road trip game from what I could tell. But I know open roads, road trip, but it's hard to really. It kind of looks like Outer Wilds in a way, like style wise. I think it looks good. It looks cool. I just don't know what to make of it. It looks like a story driven thing for sure.
hmm
But I can't really tell you what the game is about other
Yeah.
than
I
you're on the road and you
I
meet
remember
people.
it was a very short, like 30-second trailer. I think seemed like it was more of one of the commercials breaks than it was a world premiere.
It definitely was, but things are coming at you so hot and heavy
hmm
that it actually, yeah, it was a world premiere. Yeah,
Whatever happened to 12 minutes?
who knows? Returnal was there, Logan, as well.
It did.
Your favorite game. It
I
was
was
just a new
struggling so
trailer. It
hard to
wasn't
come
a
up with the
world
name of that.
premiere. Yeah, Returnal. Like,
I was
I
like,
think that game looks not
I was
great.
trying to come up with it, and I was like, I know it's a mix of two words, and it sounds really stupid, but
hmm
There
I
you
could not
go.
remember which two words.
Return and Eternal. Ugh.
Yeah,
Um,
so early 2021 is the stuff that I have down at least is Hitman in January,
mhm.
Persona Strikers in February, It Takes Two in March, Near Replicant, which I know you guys probably don't care about, is April, and then Deathloop in May. So
Okay, so
like
one game a month.
one game a month. So what's coming out in June?
Hmm.
Which for me, which is why I'm kind of looking forward to like I get to
A
investigate
breather.
my backlog. Well, that and get to investigate the
hmm
backlog a little bit and
Yeah.
decide like here's this time because last year we talked about this last week, but like last year I played a crap ton of MK11. Like I gave MK11 my send off for
hmm
like 3 months, and alongside that I was finishing The Witcher 3, like all the DLC for that. So whether that turns into this year, whether it turns into like a combination of what if it's AC Valhalla? What if it's Yakuza Like a Dragon? I mean, who knows? I'll have the time to dedicate um, my gaming to maybe one game and then identify something that I want to finish. You know, I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. I have like I think 5 or 6 games that I've just always kind of wanted to play that maybe I'll have a chance finally.
I'm also thinking I'm gonna have you guys go over my, and you can bring this personal project if you want, or maybe we could do it on a weekly basis. But I was thinking about my personal list,
Mm-hmm.
and I was gonna reconcile them. You guys are gonna be my therapists. Basically, it's gonna be group therapy. I'm gonna lay down on the couch, and you
Mm-hmm.
guys are gonna walk me through some hard decisions, some things and you're gonna have to help me not with your personal tastes, but like, no, Jason, this is what I know about you.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you won't shut up about. These are the things that you love.
Mm-hmm.
This is why this probably should be here and this should probably be there, because I'm reconciling some recent stuff and I'm having trouble, like,
Oh, like recency bias versus.
not just that, but like, okay, no, do I really love this as much as I think I do? Because like I can't, like I there are some things like recently that I think about a lot that are like undeniable, and where do they fit with games that are 10, 20, 30 years old at this point? Like,
Oh, you mean like
you
your
know,
top 50 of all time list?
yes, 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 yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
where do these things land? And if you guys want to do that too, I'd be willing to be your therapist at that time, because it'll be kind of a fun time of year for us to think
Just
about.
screw
Just,
around with something.
I like video games. Not, oh God, this is 70 hours. How much of this 70 hours do I need to see
Right.
for us to feel good, like we've
Mm-hmm.
given it the proper look, so our conscience is clean as we make our list.
And thing
So
is everybody's, even I would even go with that of your experience with said game too is always, different.
I mean there's it's really hard to separate the game from the like from the situation the game came out in or when you played the game.
Yeah, very much
Like
so.
if you were in a really good spot in your life and you played a game, then you might have fond memories, but it might not actually be as good of a game as something else, you
Hmm.
know.
But it doesn't
Like
change your level of
I
enjoyment of
mean,
it.
this year alone, there's been a couple of games for me. Like, I mean, we were deep in quarantine and they were exactly what I needed for that. Are they the best games of all time? Probably not, but they were exactly what I needed at that moment. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
and that's okay. That's why it's a personal, that's why
Yeah, they're your
we
personal
have the,
list.
we
Yeah.
have the we have the group list that we feel like, all right, us collectively, I think this is probably the best game or the best way to rank these games.
Hmm.
And then, like, oh well, I don't have to apologize for shit because this is my personal list.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's,
Yeah.
it's for me.
I
So
don't.
that's the fun part of that.
I never have to apologize for Kingdom Hearts to myself.
Right. I mean, it's not like Logan. Like, if that were my list, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. But it's
I
your
know.
list.
That's my
It's yours.
list.
It's yours. So I sleep like a baby
I
because,
know
oh,
because
thank God it's not my list.
I have a Keyblade
Yeah.
hanging over my door. Like,
I mean, yeah. And if that were here, I'd file an insurance claim right now and burn down my house.
Okay, Jason,
I'm kidding. I'm
that's
kidding. I
your
like Kingdom
but
Hearts.
that's your assignment for January then, since you're going to be completely free, is you're going to play through every Kingdom Hearts game in order and do a essay at the end of each to explain what happened. And then Logan is going to vet that to make sure you completely understood the story. And if not, then you have to replay it.
so, which
Fair.
also means that I need to replay every game in order. It's a good thing I have. Well, yeah, I actually, you know what? I do need to go back through and I need to give Kingdom Hearts 2 another shake
Ooh,
because I think that is one of the worst Kingdom Hearts games, and everyone tells me I'm wrong.
no, I'm with you.
That 2's the
I think
worst.
there's the oh boy, I don't know if we got enough time for
We
this.
don't need to get into this. I don't even think there's. I don't even know if it's right.
What I'll say quickly is
Mm,
that I remember being disappointed because I thought that game was going in a direction that it did not go. And so for me, I was like, that's why I feel that way about that game. But as a total package, maybe it is better than I give it credit for, just because I was kind of bummed out about, like the Kyrie reunion that wasn't really like it.
It
Oh, wow,
was.
really?
It was the
Like Donald
wettest
was in the
fart.
background, like,
Yeah.
you know, like it was just.
It wasn't
Oh
even like
man, yeah, I just didn't.
it was just
Yeah, no.
Let's just bookend the Kingdom Hearts discussion with all saying that Kingdom Hearts 1 is an excellent video game.
yes. It is an excellent video game. Some would say it's the greatest of all time, but
That sounds like an insane person that needs to be locked up.
maybe,
That's
maybe
they don't sound well. Logan, whoever you are talking about, they don't sound well.
no, they don't.
They need
They
help.
need help.
One thing I forgot to mention when we were talking about games is that I did platinum Bug Snacks.
Oh yeah,
It's not a hard platinum at all, and I am very excited to talk about the ending of Bug Snacks during our Game of the Year conversation.
what do you mean the ending of Bug Snacks?
What the Bug Snacks are and why they are there.
Oh, because you hadn't finished it last time.
I had not finished it yet the last time we talked. So I
Oh
am
yeah.
extremely excited to talk about the ending of that game.
You know, you must be in the boat of people who really like the ending of that game.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Because they're like,
Caleb just likes good conversation.
hmm
'cause
Yeah, I
boy,
want Jason to be the guy that we're explaining this to and being like, "Wait, what?"
yeah,
I'm excited to be that guy. I am because I'm not playing it. So you guys
it
tell me
would.
more.
Yeah, oh. I may have to do like a quick study session on even what that, like, when we go back to it in a couple weeks from now. I may have to go
Yeah.
back and remember why that is because I tried explaining it to somebody today and I felt like I butchered the whole thing. Because they just looked at me like I had 8 heads, but at the same time, maybe that's right.
Was
Mm,
Yeah.
this a gamer?
No.
Yeah, see, that's where you should have just I'm sorry. I'll stop talking now. Let's talk about Christmas cookies instead,
Right.
or
It
just
was.
you should have bailed. You
I
should
shouldn't
have
say
just
he's not
bailed.
a gamer. He actually, so he doesn't own a console, but he owns 2 Oculuses and plays them, and actually plays a lot of Oculus games, but hasn't owned a console since a Wii. So
interesting.
there's that guy out there. Like
It's an
there is that
odd
kind of
guy.
gamer out there, like that does that. So anyway, will we have anything else for the week, or are we? I mean, I barely
Next week
did anything.
we'll bring some TV along with some more. I was. This isn't. I'm not like publicly complaining, but like mail has been so bad that I expected to get 2 gameplay games this week and didn't get either.
That
So
was yeah. So who knows when I'll get AC Valhalla? And even if I do get it, I'll be lucky to play a video game before Wednesday, just based on my current work environment.
I was anticipating Immortals and Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Mm.
So I'm going to try to play a little bit of both of those and more Cyberpunk before the end of the year. But I think that's pretty much all I can handle. Caleb and I did a quick debrief before we talked about
Hmm.
Demon Souls. I vanquished 3 demons.
Mm.
That'll be enough. That'll be enough. I feel good about that.
And that is enough.
That'll be enough. That is. I feel okay about that. That game is very hard, and I think I'm done for a while. Maybe someday I'll come back, but that is enough for this year. I'll be moving on to the other games. That's it. So hopefully I'll have not just TV that we skipped this week, but maybe I'll have 3 games to talk about next week. But it sounds like we're just going to kind of play Cyberpunk and it's going to get better. But other than that, like Caleb, maybe you've seen more of it than we have, but maybe we won't have. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say about it other than I like
Yeah.
the story, and then if we see like marked improvements, comment on those. But
Yeah.
until we get to Game of the Year, I don't know really if we'll have a ton to say about it. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
Game of the Year for I want to try to finish Cyberpunk, I think, before we
Oh,
talk.
I think that's yeah. I will definitely try to finish Cyberpunk now. Will I 100% it? No way.
No.
Um, but we'll.
There's 3 things I want to do. I want to finish Cyberpunk, well, actually 4. I want to finish Cyberpunk. I want to play some more Yakuza. I know there's no way I finish that game in time, but I want to play some more of it. I want to play Half-Life Alyx. and I want to give Hades a proper run.
Yes, please. I do request that of you. To give Hades one more go.
And if I have to save scum my way through it just to see the story stuff, maybe I just do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm somewhere in between Logan and you. I think I like it more than you. I don't think I like it as much as Logan, but also I haven't finished all the runs, so
Oh yeah, because
that
yeah, are you at like 6 or 7?
I'm at 6, and I've been at 6 with all the releases. I've been kind of stuck at
Yeah,
6,
that's fair.
so we'll
And you're
see.
playing that
I
on your
might,
laptop, right?
hmm so I might have to just maybe I'll just have to look at and I would love to have the time to finish those runs, but like we are getting saturated here, so I might just have to say I love it, and if the story sounds awesome, then maybe that's where it belongs, kind of a thing. And maybe Caleb can kind of fill in the gaps for me if he's going to give it another shot. So
I'm
maybe
sure if you,
we'll see where Caleb's at next week on that, and I can try to make a decision on how I
I
spend my
would
time.
venture to guess that if where you're at now, if you, okay, I'm sorry, I've got the football game up, and that was that you was a ball flying very daintily through the air that I was nervous about. If you probably could just go out and watch some sort of video at this point that just is like, okay, here's all the endings in a row. If and then you get yourself up to where you were. You've been playing the game. You know where you're at. Nothing changes gameplay wise. So just watch the story of it, and you'd probably be. I bet you get 12 minutes of story.
Man, I do like that. I do like playing that game a lot.
So
So
if
it's
worst
kind of
comes to
like,
worst,
you've taken this from me, but I don't have time.
mm.
That's just the
So
choice I
it's
might
yeah, it's
have to
the
make.
because they're, I mean, in all reality, they're a half-hour run a piece, so it takes you from 2 hours and 12 minutes to 12 minutes.
Yeah, and I think 12 minutes sounds awfully appealing right now.
So yeah.
That might be, but that's how we prioritize next year, right? Like,
Hmm.
I want to do this. So how badly do I want to do this versus if I like Yakuza, like how much do I like? Because that seems like an insane time commitment. AC Valhalla as well. So like,
Hmm.
as I prioritize these things, he's just gonna have to bounce some things off you guys.
Yeah, my plan for January is pick one of AC or Yakuza to play,
Me too.
throw the other one away, and then save. I'm going to save Immortals for a rainy day when I want an open world game to play.
Mm. What I've seen and heard of Immortals, I think that's probably just not a game for me.
Probably not.
Okay.
It's for people like me that really like the checkbox type open world
Hmm.
games. It's very good, but if that's not something that you're 100% into, then probably not.
Story, art style, even looking at it, I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
like this doesn't look like something I'm into. So that one might just fall off the list unless Jason, you play it and you're like, yeah, maybe you should try this.
I'm gonna look at it. I want to at least want to see it for myself, but I'm getting the vibe similar to you, Logan. Like, and there's just so many open world games to play right now.
Too
Like,
many.
yeah, it would have to really like do something special, and I don't know if it quite does any
It
one thing
it sounds like it's
great.
very
We'll see.
mediocre at what it does, right? Caleb, is
We'll
that kind of
see.
what you're saying? Like
Yeah.
it's like a very average one of those.
Yep.
So okay, all right. Well, it is 10 o'clock, and my contacts are yelling at me to go to bed. So my cat is also looking at me with some stank eye. So, are we good for next Sunday? Well, we can always text about it, but I
I would imagine so.
I get, what are we really doing? I mean, we're not doing anything. No one's, yeah. So,
Maybe not me.
right.
We'll check.
That's why I was asking.
Sorry. Yeah, I might be home. I might be home.
If not, we can
We'll
always do
see.
Monday
You
or
know what?
something.
I think I will be home. Pencil me in.
Okay.
Pencil. Pencil
Is this a
pencil me in.
convenient reason that you need to be home?
Oh yeah, there is kind of a convenient reason you need to be home on the 21st, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
I forgot
right.
about
Yeah,
that.
so I do need to be in my
That is not pass
home
interference. I'm
home
sorry.
home office on the 21st. I need to be in my home office for sure on the 21st to virtually present my driver's license. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens. So, yeah,
Something like that.
I'm probably good, but I should probably keep it short that night. So,
Yeah, we might have.
we'll talk.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do. All right, go get your holiday pie, and we will see you next week on the Master of the Laundry podcast.